Welcome to DeckTalk, where you will be prepared. DeckTalk is a weekly educational show where we bring on pro players, deck creators, commentators, basically anybody who's trying to make Hearthstone the #1 esport in the world. This week we have a very special guest with a very interesting deck. He is a member of Acebreakers, Dlineman.
What's up, Chiv?
Not much, man. Whole new year, whole new season. GVG's first real test, I would so to say. So it's quite interesting. So, how have you been liking GVG so far?
I think GVG was generally what Hearthstone needed at the time, outside of other balancing changes that have yet to come, obviously. But Hearthstone was getting really stale around when GVG came out because Naxxramas didn't come out until it was around June or July when Naxxramas came out, and by the time GVG came out, the meta was so stabilized, everyone was playing the same 4 decks, and it just wasn't fun. So GVG came out at a very convenient time, and it introduced Mechs, and Mechs completely changed the metagame, right?
Oh
Because
yeah.
obviously Hunters stayed around to be the same way, but you see Mech Mages now all over the ladder. You see Mechs in Zoo decks. You see these Tempo Mech Rogue decks, and it's really interesting and really fun to play against.
Yeah, they really are. Not to mention, Doctor Boom has become like, the fan favorite of everybody. Even Sneed's Old Shredder, a card that everybody was like, oh, that's not all that good, is getting a lot of play because, oh, look, Kel'Thuzad actually has value with it.
Yeah, Kel'Thuzad is actually seeing more play now. I mean, so far I've only seen Kel'Thuzad be played in a couple of decks. I see it played in Druid and in Echo of Medivh Mage decks.
Oh, that is so disgusting. I've seen that before. It's so nasty.
Yeah, but definitely GVG helped out some old cards that weren't seeing play. Like
Mm-hmm.
even now, I wouldn't be surprised if eventually, when other balancing changes are made, Hunters will start being able to use King Crush now that Call Pet is a card. So
Maybe,
that'll be really
maybe.
interesting to see.
That would be really interesting to see. It'd be nice, actually, because that means it's something that isn't face, because
Oh,
we have absolutely no skill and rely on RNG.
yeah, no, yeah, Hunters are terrible,
Mm.
without a doubt.
Oh, I'm gonna get so much hate for that. All right, so this week you brought a very interesting deck. It's a Druid deck. It's a
Hmm.
mill Druid deck. So I mean, we know this concept. We've seen it kind of before, but you actually have a very interesting take on it. So let's go ahead and go to the deck right now.
Okay.
All right, there we go.
Yeah. So, all right. So the reason why I built this deck, So just throw it out there. Mill Druid decks, a lot of them look very similarly, except that there are the main difference between Druid decks is how you decide to win a game, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's basically like what all decks are centered around. You first start with how do you want to win a game, and then you decide how are you going to stay alive until you get to that win condition, and then you decide how are you going to construct your deck to stop your opponent's win conditions, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for this Mill Druid, the philosophy behind it is I win by fatigue. I don't win in any other way at all. Other Mill Druid decks run Molten Giants and other big cards that will help you win the game in a different way. However, it reduces the potential of you winning by fatigue. But the main philosophy behind creating this deck is that I wanted to play a deck that was incredibly fun.
Yeah.
And uh, you know, to play like I climbed to Legend playing Handlock. I've played most of the decks that you see in the meta, and Mill Druid was definitely the most fun to play. Though you do take a hit in your win rate by playing Mill Druid.
Yeah,
That's
but the frustration value that you cause your opponent obviously has to make up for that hit because come on, this is just disgusting.
Yeah. As soon as you mill one card, the entire game is worth
Mm-hmm.
it.
Now you're actually using a lot of cards that we don't normally see get played. Most notable here, Naturalize. I mean, 1 mana minion removal, but you're giving your opponent card advantage.
Right. So here's the interesting thing about mill decks is that your opponent never has card advantage, right? Because the more cards they have, the worse it is. So here's how I like to think about Naturalize in this deck. Let's assume, best case scenario, Naturalize forces your opponent to mill 2 cards, right?
Mm-hmm.
If your opponent mills 2 cards off of Naturalize, then Naturalize is a 1-mana spell that removes 3 cards from their deck. And then when their turn starts, they milled another card. So Naturalize ends up being a 4-for-1. Right?
That's actually pretty good if you can get that set up.
Yeah, the best case scenario, Naturalize is a 4-for-1. The worst case scenario, it removed the minion, they drew 2 cards, but hopefully, if you planned it out correctly, you can follow it up with Cold Light Oracle. Eventually, your opponent's going to lose cards. And as soon as your opponent mills a single card in the entire matchup, Naturalize has turned into a 2-for-1.
Right.
Whether you on turn 2 or on turn 8.
Now, Cold Light Oracle, I mean, you're running the Brewmasters here, so obviously, you know, bounce to the bounce to the bounce to the bounce, and just, you know, completely wreck so much.
Right. Yeah, Brewmaster is key in this deck. Now, the thing about Brewmaster that people need to recognize is that sometimes I see people play Mill Druid or attempt to, and they use the Youthful Brewmaster only on Cold Light Oracle and Grove Tender. That's not always correct, right? Sometimes you need to use Youthful Brewmaster on your big game hunter. In fact, if you're playing against a handlock, and though it's a favored matchup, and you didn't get the cards that you need in order to actually swing that matchup in your favor early, but you got big game hunter, then maybe you should Youthful your big game hunter back so that you can kill another giant later on. So like decisions like that are also incredibly important.
All right, now explain the value of Poison Seeds, because here's a card that, you know, kind of saw a little bit of play here and there during Naxxramas, but then everybody went, oh, screw that.
Yeah, so Poison Seeds is there for Starfall, right? So the Poison Seeds Starfall combo, you see it in there twice.
Mm-hmm.
The thing about this Mill Druid deck is that if you look at it, it's not really running very threatening minions. In fact, the only minions that actually hold any value as far as board presence are concerned are Dancing Swords and maybe the Grove Tenders and Keeper of the Grove, depending on the matchup.
Antique Healbot, but yeah.
Right, yeah, but because your minions aren't all that great, you're going to need a lot of removal in order to win the matchup. So Poison Seeds synergizes with Starfall late, but even if you don't get it, aren't able to use it late, if you have to use it by turn 6, then you can run Poison Seeds and then run Wild Pyromancer's combos in order to clear your opponent's board. But the idea is that you lose this game if your opponent keeps minions on the board for longer than a turn or 2.
Right, okay. Now, you're also running Tree of Life. What's the philosophy behind this card? Because I've seen a few decks that use this, mostly with Alexstrasza's and a bunch of Giants and a Ragnaros and a Dr. Boom, and this is like the try-harder Druid deck I've ever seen. And, you know, so what's it doing here?
So Tree of Life is the biggest candidate in this deck to be a card that you switch out for other cards, depending on how you feel you want to play this deck. Tree of Life is in here for me mostly because of the Hunter matchup, and to give you an extra out against other aggro matchups, right? Because sometimes, I mean, you're not favored in the aggro matchup, but sometimes you can actually push that matchup to turn 9. But Tree of Life is that card that swings in your favor. So that's reason 1. Reason 2 is if you do the math correctly late game, Tree of Life allows you to reset you and your opponent back to full health while you are a step behind your opponent in fatigue. So if you are lower in life than them and you've run out of your healing touches and your anti-heal bots, because it's not, you know, it's very common for you to have used those throughout the matchup, you're also milling yourself. Like that is a thing you have to accept when you're playing Mill Druid. The idea is that Naturalize puts your opponent steps ahead of you in the fatigue process. So Tree of Life allows you to equalize the health while your opponent is losing more health than you.
That's actually really, really interesting. So why don't we get into this and see how this works, all right?
All right, so let me just go into a game.
All right.
Thankfully, this is the beginning of the season, so I'm not too concerned about losing ranks at rank 14.
No. All right, so waiting for it to. Apparently, you're still searching for an opponent.
Still searching, yeah. So with this deck, we're hoping not to run into Zoos, because Zoo is easily the worst matchup with this deck. The best matchups are control matchups, because controlled decks typically have a lot of cards in their hands.
Mm-hmm. Now, what are your thoughts on like the Clockwork Giants, like being in this deck? It's just a solid minion.
Uh, I mean, it changes the way that you play this deck.
Okay.
Entirely, if you're going to run Clockwork Giants, then you would need to run a greedier version of this deck.
Okay. All right. So we have you at spectate mode. So let's go over the mulligan.
All right. So so Mage at rank 14 right now it could be anything, right? But if it is a Mech Mage, which is what we're seeing mostly on the ladder at the moment, then we need to have cards that clear the board.
All right.
Healing Touch doesn't do that. Innervate doesn't do that. Youthful Brewmaster doesn't do that. You would consider keeping Youthful Brewmaster if you had a card that comboed with it, but most likely you probably still wouldn't even then.
All right.
So let's go all three and hope for a Wild Pyromancer. All right, so Dancing Swords. Dancing Swords, there are versions of this deck that run Starfire instead of Dancing Swords.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I'm running Dancing Swords is because it gives you a better chance in aggro matchups by putting a 4/4 minion on your side of the board. So if this is a Freeze Mage, we just win. It's literally impossible to lose against a Freeze Mage with this deck. You have too much heal, and you mill them too much.
Well, I mean, you definitely have options here and how you're going to deal with your opponent.
Yeah, Wrath is a very good pickup. So we're not going to Wrath this because there are much better targets to Wrath. And we only have 2 of them. We don't have other ways of clearing the board. So we're just going to Hero Power and actually hit it. Because next turn we might have to hit it a second time.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, he's going to attack. So we could play Dancing Swords, but if you play Dancing Swords and his Mech Warper stays on the board, and that's obviously a horrible decision.
Yes.
So we're gonna end up wrapping the Mech Warper. Oh gosh.
Wow. This is that scenario you never want to see.
Yeah, so we still don't have a choice. We still have to Wrath. Hopefully, we could pick up Swipe.
Yeah, Swipe would be really good. Swipe would be amazing.
There is consideration to naturalizing that. I don't think that naturalizing it is a horrible decision, but I'd much rather save naturalize for
Big minion.
Yeah, for something large. I mean, the biggest minion that they're probably going to run is a Goblin Blast Mage, but...
Oh, wow. Wow. RNG just saved you, my friend.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we're definitely gonna swipe the Mech Warper. The Tinkertown Technician we can take care of in other ways, but the Mech Warper snowballs way too much.
Very much so.
Yeah, we don't have another play.
Now, you did say that, like, zoo and aggro-based decks were going to be a problem for you.
Yeah, they're still generally a problem because, again, like I said earlier, with this deck, if your opponent's minions stay on the board for longer than a turn, then you're going to run into some serious problems, right? So this is a situation where their minions are staying on the board for longer than a turn. Now, and here's another reason why aggro decks are hard is because you might not actually want them to draw cards, right? So the decisions here are to play Dancing Swords or Grove Tender. We can Grove Tender, draw a card, and possibly innervate something out that's good.
All I know is that Spider Tank has to die.
Oh yeah, the Mech's got to go. Naturalizing it doesn't seem like a horrible option. If we're going to naturalize that, then we should play Grove Tender.
Makes sense.
And I think we do take the draw. That's a dead card.
Oh, yeah.
I think we also innervate out the Dancing Swords.
Makes sense. challenge his board position.
Yep. Yeah, because this at least gives us options against Goblin Blast Mage. I mean, if he plays Goblin Blast Mage, it's not going to proc the battle cry because he doesn't have a mech.
Mm-hmm.
But he'd be forced to trade the Tinkertown into the Dancing Swords if he plays Goblin Blast Mage.
Now, he already played one Clockwork Gnome, or did he play two?
He played one, and so he has a spare part in his hand as one of the cards. But yeah, I mean his cards is full of stuff.
Wow.
We're actually fine with that because his best play right now is Spider Tank again.
Or Harvest Golem.
Oh, this is good. I mean, our hand's pretty terrible right now. I mean, we don't have many options with this hand, but at least we got the Healing Touch. Now, the only reason why we would save Healing Touch would be to combo it with Wild Pyromancer.
But we're talking about Mage.
Exactly.
You know, it's kind of dangerous to let your life hover that low.
I'm glad we're on the same page.
Yeah, I mean, if this was, Hunter, I'd be going, what the hell?
Right.
I can fix anything.
Yeah, so far, I mean, we got really lucky with the one swipe draw, but it's really difficult to beat aggro without Wild Pyromancer.
I'm seeing this.
Is that card good?
That'll only kill one minion.
Yeah, I mean, we can hero power away the mana worm, but that's still not very good. So if we Starfall, we remove 4 damage from the board.
Possibly 5. Because he does have spare parts still in his hand, which will power the mana worm.
Right. Fair. Yeah, it's actually a pretty difficult turn. I am very worried about taking 8 damage next turn because he's definitely going to play Goblin Blast Mage, so it's going to be 12 damage. So unfortunately, this is really gross, but unfortunately we have to do this. We just kind of want to stall this out for as long as we can so we can play Tree of Life, and hopefully by the time we play Tree of Life, we'll have any semblance of a cleared board so that we don't just take the damage right back.
And T-Keelbot would be really awesome right now.
For sure.
Oh, wow. Oh, he doesn't have the Blast Mage.
Oh, that's good.
You might actually make it, but you're getting into Fireball territory.
Alright, so as much as I'd like to remove the Snow Chugger, we definitely need to draw. So you have to be a little greedy here.
That's real dangerous.
Hey! Welcome to the party. Is this good?
In a way, yes. Because if he's playing any kind of Icelands combo, you're kind of screwed.
I mean, I'm not really concerned about an Icelands combo. If he's running an Icelands combo, then God bless him. I do want to kill the Snow Chugger though. Because the last thing I need for him to do is be able to take care of this Keeper of the Grove and then be able to perma-freeze my face. I'd rather be frozen for one turn than for the rest of the game.
Right. And now, if he can't beat you this turn, which this is Mage, I mean...
Hopefully he overextends. If they overextend into a Tree of Life, then we're in good shape.
Yes, obviously. Oh, Flame Cannon. All right, so double Fireball is not going to happen. Reset coming. Now you know this is probably going to piss him off too.
Oh, what's that?
Time
That
rewinder.
that's dumb. I don't think that's useful.
No, no.
I don't think that needed to happen.
Then again, a lot of times you get those cards. It's like, oh, what am I supposed to do with this?
Swipe's good next turn.
Oh, definitely. Oh, I love that effect.
So he has 13 cards left in his deck. We have 16 in ours.
And you really haven't even hit your,
Yeah, we've been drawing very poorly. That's a good swipe target. No, that's fine. Okay, so that was both of his spare parts. So he doesn't have any spare parts to give to Antonidas if he plays it.
No, but he still could have Frostbolts.
Right. What did he play to freeze our face?
Snow Trigger.
Oh, that was just us still being first in the Snow Chugger, right. Alright, I think that, yeah, Acidic Swamp Boost is perfectly fine to drop here. Then we just smack him in the face. Now, Mech Mages might run Dr. Boom. That's the only reason why I'm going to keep the Big Game Hunter in my hand. I mean, obviously on this board, Acidic Swamp Boost is better, but generally speaking, I'm not going to drop the Big Game Hunter until Dr. Boom comes out. Is he going to pass? Oh, this is glorious. Yeah.
Oh!
All right.
To the Dudickery!
So, and this still leaves us with enough mana to hero power down the damage golem. Perfect. All right, so now this matchup is completely swung.
Wow. And you were worried. You were so worried.
I mean, I'm still worried.
I mean, he does have 9 cards in his hand, but, I mean, he's on that 10. He can unload a bunch of them. I think the first thing he's going to do is probably... That was not what I was expecting. Goblin Blast Mage, that I was, however.
Okay. Now the question is...
How big of a threat is that?
Yes. Oh, alright, we have Poison Seeds to deal with Antonidas. So, yeah, so generally, for people watching who may be relatively new to the game, it's important to think out your entire turn before you play any cards. Because you want to think about the best way to use your mana.
Right.
So the potential plays we have, we naturalize and probably play Anti-Keelbot, because that can test with the Snow Chugger, and then Hero Power his face, so that's option 1. We could also silence the Snow Chugger if we want, but that's not worth the silence in my opinion.
No.
The other options include playing Poison Seeds, which doesn't do anything.
No, I think you're going to want to wait on Poison Seeds till Antonidas hits the board.
For sure. Now, the only bad thing about Naturalize here is that it doesn't mill him a card immediately, but, again, it gets him closer to Fatigue, right? Which is how we decided we're going to win this game.
Alright, so he's now at 5 cards.
Yep. And we're not going to silence that Snow Chugger because it's not worth it.
I think this has to be the Antonidas play, because he saw the Naturalize, so he might feel a little bit safe.
Yep. This is his turn. This is the turn to play Antonidas, probably for him, because I have 4 cards in my hand. So he should figure that another Cold Light's coming soon, and then I'll have more options. So this is his best time to play it.
Oh, yeah.
This guy. Oh.
Maybe he doesn't run Antonidas, or he hasn't drawn it, or insert hypothetical situation number 12.
Yeah. Starfall would be a good draw here.
Starfall would be an amazing draw here.
We already used 1, though, so we have a 1 in 9.
Mm,
Oh,
that's okay too, though.
is that good? How's that good? Doesn't remove anything. Uh,
Well, it can.
well, I can't use hero power.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm gonna play Keeper of the Grove, it would really be to silence. Oh, I can poison seeds and Keeper.
Mm-hmm. That'll at least mitigate a third.
That, I think that plays perfect because the 2/2s both trade favorably into the Keeper. I killed that one because that was the Goblin Blast Mage tree.
Yep. So, I mean, that stops him from doing another 5 damage.
Yep.
We still have yet to see any fireballs or a pyroblast, so
Yeah, Mech Mages probably don't run Pyroblast, and they might not even run Fireballs. They might save the Fireballs for Archmage Antonidas.
I have seen it, though.
Oh yeah, no, it's possible. I mean, anything. We're at rank 14 on the ladder. Anything's possible. So now this game is gonna come down to when do we draw the Poison Seed Starfall combo anytime soon?
Now,
All right.
here's a question: do you silence one of those at least?
Yeah. Oh, no. Okay. So I don't think we play Poison Seeds because Poison Seeds doesn't do like the play would be to hit one, silence a 4/3 and Poison Seeds. That would leave him with uh, three. Wait, one, two. That'll leave him with two 2/2 treants and the death rattle that comes out of the one piloted shredder, and it would leave me with two 2/2 treants, which isn't that bad, but then it makes my Starfall later almost unplayable.
In theory, yes.
Hmm.
But
If
if
he
you,
Owl, then he can't ping both.
well, the other thing here is you're looking at effectively 8 plus 4 plus 1, so that's 13 damage he can do. If he's
Right.
got any kind of spells, you're kind of in trouble. So, better make that play.
All right. I think that we can Poison Seeds next turn if it comes down to it. I preferred not to trade into the 4/3 because I don't want to lose the 2/1 yet.
Right.
If he spends 2 mana on a ping, he doesn't spend it proccing his Antonidas. Yeah, I mean, this mage has quickly realized that my minions don't mean anything.
Oh, how good would a naturalize be coming up soon?
Well, I used both naturalizers already.
Oh, that's right, you did.
So
Well, Cold Light Oracle.
Yeah, I mean, it won't mill anything, but it'll give me more options.
Dancing Swords also is a possibility.
Dancing Swords is good. I've already used both Healing Touches and one Heal Bot. So I have another heal. So my deck has another Heal Bot, another Cold Light, another Dancing Swords. It's 3. It has another Starfall. It has.
Whoa. I'm pretty sure this guy does not have Antonidas.
So now Big Game Hunter just got played. So let's make him mill some more cards while we do this.
Mm-hmm.
The great outdoors.
Oh!
Alright, so the thing about Fell Reaver is. Yeah. So the thing about Fell Reaver is he actually does. You don't take fatigue damage from Fell Reaver. That fatigue damage he took was from Grove Tender. That's how the card works.
Oh
that's,
my
that's how they interact.
god. That's so disgusting.
Yeah, so I'm gonna Big Game Hunter. Alright, so I think that if we Poison Seeds, we might win.
Seems legit. Because that'll mitigate him down to 6 and whatever's left.
Yeah, I definitely want to Poison Seeds him now. Or do I? I think I'm still worried about Antonidas. The question is, can I take 8 damage? Or am I okay? So what am I more afraid of, Antonidas or him actually running fireballs?
Fireballs.
All right, I'm gonna trust you on this one.
Well, Antonidas is cool and all. What I'm seeing here doesn't scream Antonidas.
All right. Okay, so this is very important. So now this is the kind of situation where Tree of Life is a wonderful card, right? But we already used.
Well played.
Do we lose now? I mean, yeah, we lose. So he has the 2 fireballs.
Mm-hmm. Told you.
Yeah, I don't know why we even were worried about the 2 fireballs because we lose anyway, either way. So it was probably better to play Dancing Swords.
Not really.
But yeah, so that's how it works. So that was an unfavorable matchup that actually turned out to be pretty okay.
It really was unfavorable, but I mean, you turned it around. You had some hope there. It was quite interesting.
Yeah, he was also running Fell Reaver. If he drew Fell Reaver earlier, if he was able to play Fell Reaver on turn 5, I think he loses.
Yeah, but the moment he saw that you were playing that kind of druid, there's no way in hell he was going to play it.
Well, it was also on the back of his hand. I think it was probably at the bottom of his deck. So, yeah, if he played it on turn 5 before truly discovering that we were Mill Druid, then he lost.
Oh, most definitely.
Yeah.
All right, so let's queue up another game.
All right, so here we're going to hope for Handlock or Warrior.
Hope. Watch you get a Shaman just, to spite you. The Shaman wouldn't be a bad matchup either.
Yeah. Oh, you know what else was still in our deck? Both Wild Pyromancers.
Those never came down. All right, so going into Spectate, starting, glaring at the Innkeeper. There we go, and you're versus a Priest.
Yeah, so if this is a Control Priest, then we're in good shape. If this is a Mech Priest, then we're in bad shape. If this is a Death Rattle Priest, I think we're still in good shape. I don't think Death Rattle Priest is very good. So, all right, so we never keep Starfall. That's never an option. We never keep Healing Touch. I don't think we need to keep Wrath either, because if he plays Northshire Cleric,
You want him to draw.
yeah, I'm not worried about that. I'm not worried about him playing Wild Pyromancer either. None of his early drops scare me. And if
The only one I'm concerned about is the Injured Blade Master.
right. Oh, again, we have Naturalize for that, so we're in good shape. Typically, when you're mulling, you really want Grove Tender. Grove Tender is the #1 pick. Now, after that, depending on matchups, against aggro matchups, you want Keeper, and you want Wild Pyromancer. Oh, this is good. So this is a very interesting decision, because we can hit his face or we can hit the Cleric. Now, hitting the Cleric might telegraph that we're playing Mill Druid, but not if we say oops after we hit it.
So basically, you're gonna sucker him here. I think you did that a little too on the time.
Probably. Oh my god.
It worked.
All right, so I think we can afford to be as greedy as we. What? He didn't hit me.
Okay, what's he at card-wise?
He's at 7. He didn't hit me. He forgot to hit me.
Ooh. Do you run the risk and do it again?
I mean, yeah, because because if we don't hit it, then as soon as we play our first milling card, he's going to stop healing it anyway. So we might as well milk this for as long as we can.
Oh, here we go. Here you go. Start the mill.
So for people watching this isn't normal. Players are better than this. So if you're playing at high ranks, this isn't going to happen. But this is actually the dream. This is a dream because we're going to naturalize it.
Oh. Vol'jin! Nice kill.
I think we're actually going to innervate Cold-Eyed Oracle. Now, another good thing about Tree of Life is that it restores all characters. So later on, if he has a board with Northshire Cleric, you can win with Tree of Life. I've done that before.
All right.
Yeah, we're going to innervate out the second Cold-Eyed Oracle rather than naturalize because it does the same thing. Good. right.
Oh.
So he's
Oh.
oh damn. Well, there goes the second cleric.
Okay, so let's see. 16 versus 19, and he's lost how many cards?
Yeah, I mean we can. Yeah, no, this that's incredible value. I mean we can healing touch his cleric if we want.
I think you may have pissed him off.
In the light's name.
Oh, okay. How do I want to do this? I really wish we had a youthful brewmaster.
Oh, I know. I know.
All right, so I'm pretty sure we've already won, but we need to actually be careful about this. I mean, the Alkanized Soul Priest is a fine naturalized target.
It is, but
So the plays are I can Powermancer, naturalize, hero power the 1/2, and then go face. But then he loses his cleric, and we kind of want him to keep his cleric. The other play is to play Dancing Swords and either hero power or play Swamp Ooze, but then it doesn't take care of the Alkanized Soul Priest. So the only play that actually gets rid of the Soul Priest is playing Naturalize.
all right.
I think we're going to do that. I'm never concerned about roping because you just, like, if you're worried about roping, then just make your plays in time. Like, yeah. So I'll play Dancing Swords actually. Yeah, we didn't really need to. We didn't need the power there. This, if he wants to lose his cleric, he's going to lose it by trading into the Dancing Swords, which keeps our Colite Oracle.
Why? Oh, okay.
Okay, I'm okay with that. I'm very okay with that. All right. Keeper's a really good pickup.
Mm-hmm.
Just considering the other plays, there aren't any other plays. Yeah, so we're going to Keeper that. And we're not going to kill the 1/1 because,
We want him to keep drawing.
I mean, it's basically our minion, so.
Yeah. He is now.
He's at 11 cards.
Yeah, 11.
Let me change your mind.
That kind of sucked.
Not worried about that. I mean, in 2 turns, we clear his board, so.
Grove Tender.
What's the rest of the turn look like? I don't think we play any more minions because we're going to Poison Seed Starfall in 2 turns.
Mm-hmm.
Ah, the great outdoors.
Hey, that's a good card. The question is, do I use it here?
Here's another question. Do you Healing Touch? Because you are getting to that point where he could really start hurting you.
No, because
Okay.
if we're going to Healing Touch now, then we can Healing Touch next turn.
Okay, good point.
Yeah, because, our turn 8 probably involves Anti-Keelbot anyway.
All right.
I don't think I play Keeper of the Grove. Yeah, I think I'm going to stick to the plan of not playing any more minions. Next turn is when I would actually hit the cleric because it'll give him 1 less treant. He's obviously not going to heal his cleric anymore.
Embrace the void.
I knew this shenanigan was coming.
Yeah, so he's not going to circle to get rid of his zombie chow. Like, that's just not an option because it clears more of his board.
But you could silence the Akanai, and that he would have no way of dealing damage to you.
So what are you looking at? 7, 8, 10, 12 damage next turn. With Circle and the Hero Power, that's 17 damage. With Holy Fire, he wins. So if the board stays exactly like this, he actually has a way to win.
All right.
So I can't silence it and play anti-Keelbot in the
But you
same.
can silence it in Healing Touch.
Well, if I silence it, then he doesn't have lethal at all.
Right.
He already lost one, so I'm not even going to waste the healing touch yet because I'm going to Tree of Life.
Okay.
I'll actually get rid of the Zombie Chow to heal.
Oh, actually, that's the smart play there.
I'm still not going to play anything else because I still plan to Poison Seed Starfall.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right now he's like, nope, I'm not drawing any more cards.
Yeah, he must have. I mean, you have to figure that Tree of Life is coming up soon. So, because if I drew an Innervate, then I could Pyro, Innervate, Tree of Life, and make him draw a million cards off of his Cleric.
The irony of what's about to happen here.
Yeah, so he's going to have one Treant. Wait, what was played last?
The Injured
played
Blade Master was
Blade
last.
Master last. Yeah, so he's going to have a 2/5 Treant.
I'd much rather see 1/2/5 Treant than anything else.
Yeah, so this is a great Poison Seed Starfall.
Bye-bye.
Oh. Wait. The Death Rattle didn't happen.
Are you arguing it?
The light compels
Wow.
Am I
Oh.
just stupid? Wait, let me think about this for a second because I'm definitely just stupid. So, right, they all died at the same time.
Okay.
Yeah. The treants coming from Poison Seeds is not a Death Rattle. so yeah, that's why. So obviously no treants get buffed. I don't. Yeah. All right. So he's running Little Exorcist. All right. So we're gonna save. Obviously, Tree of Life isn't a good play here. So Healbot, Dancing Swords.
Seems pretty legit.
Your power seems perfectly fine. The question is, do I hit one of these? How does he clear my board? He clears my board by running all three of those into my 2 minions. So I don't need to hit one. Obviously, Holy Nova changes the way that works, but Holy Nova also heals the hit that I put on anyway. So
I have no time for
Ooh.
oh, that's okay. Well, that's not very useful. Unfortunately, I still only have the one spell, so I still don't have. I don't know what's going on with my draws, but I still don't have swipe. I still don't have.
Naturalize we haven't seen.
Well, we used one on the
Um,
on either of the two wraths, because in both scenarios I can find a way to clear most of his board with Pyromancer if I have any of those spells.
No,
5,
let's.
7, 10, 12.
Yeah.
That zombie child's gonna heal me because he already lost both Alchemize. Do I Healing Touch? I want to save the Healing Touch to proc with Wild Pyromancer.
Right.
Obviously, save Big Game Hunter because everyone's running Dr. Boom. Or Fell Reaver, apparently.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, Fell Reaver, who plays that shit? But I think it's safe to say the Acidic Swampers could have gone out.
He hasn't burned a Holy Nova yet, and he's drawn through most of his deck.
That is true, too. But he has burned his Shadow Madness, so...
Yep. Oh, that's good. That's good for us. Because we were hoping to run that into a Sylvanas anyway.
Uh,
That's fine. It draws him a card. why we run two copies of Poison Seed Starfall. Yeah, he's not going to be able to do enough damage with this board. Hey, welcome to the party.
Oh, jeez. Jeez. I already see where this is going.
Okay. So, if I hit Naturalize, Wild Pyro, Healing Touch, then hit Naturalize, Pyro, Healing Touch, that leaves him with a 3-1 and a 2-2. That spends 6 mana. So I'll have the mana to hero power down to 3-1. And at least his 2-2 with my 3-1.
Sounds about right.
Is there a better play?
Not that I can see.
I don't need to Brewmaster back to Healbot in order to win this game. Alright, let's do that. Yeah, I know you're almost out of cards. I know, it's a rough life. I think that's fine. I don't need to put on anything else. Good, so we still have Collide Oracle and Brewmaster. And Tree of Life. So that's actually perfect. Tree of Life is going to get so much mileage. Oh, cool.
Welcome to the aggravation meta.
Yep.
Oh, that was amazing. That was amazing.
Yeah, thinking about it, it was probably impossible for the Priest to win. Like, I can't think of a combination of cards that Priest decks run that wins from that point on, especially since I have Tree of Life in my hand.
Oh, yeah, yeah. All right, so we're going to move on to the whole little guest social phase.
All right.
All right, so if you'd like to follow Dlineman and more of his Druid shenanigans, check him out on Twitter at Dlineman. You can also follow him on twitch.tv/Dlineman7. He's also a member of Acebreakers. You know, those kooky guys who were once only European. Well, apparently they've decided to spread across the Atlantic. And apparently are now in Michigan. So, yeah. So check him out. So amazing. My God. You know what? That deck was just beyond insane. And that last thing is like, he had everything. It was just coming up right on time when you needed it. You weren't really feeling pressure. Unlike the Mage game where it was...
Yeah, and actually thinking about it, that Mage game was definitely winnable if we had drawn our Pyromancer at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But you never saw it.
Yeah,
at all.
Yeah, and we still took that down to actually be pretty close.
It would have been close. I mean, we were expecting Antonitis. Obviously, that never showed up.
Mm-hmm.
So, but it's a really interesting deck. I like it. I mean, we've seen Mill Druids. Yours is a little unique. It might be similar to a few other people. So please, people, don't picnic and throw hissy fits. But
we're playing a game where 30 cards are in your deck.
Exactly.
A lot of us are going to be very close to each other.
Thank you so much for saying that. That just made my day. So, but no, if this deck is similar to anybody else's, I'm going to say right now, did you get this inspired from anybody or copy it off somebody else?
Oh, I mean, Mill Druid's been around, so there are a lot of different versions of it. There is a version of this deck. I think it's called Natural Remedies. That's on Hearthstone.
Mm-hmm.
I know Crypt has been running Mill Druid on his stream for the past couple of days. So they're all very similar. I don't think they run Dancing Swords, but I mean, yeah, they're all very close to each other. The only thing that makes this one different from a lot of other Mill Druids is that it doesn't run big minions at the end. But
Right. My boy Noxious has been messing around with Mill Druid for a while. Yeah. Now, what's interesting about this one is it didn't run Mukla. Almost all of those Mill Druids run Mukla.
Yeah, I think an important thing to consider, again, because when you're building decks, I touched on this earlier, that the first thing you want to think about is how do you win a game?
Mm-hmm.
And in this particular deck, if you put Mugla in, it actually doesn't help you win. Like, it helps you mill more cards, probably, but the minion, the 5/5 body, isn't important. So what are you replacing for Mugla? Probably another card that forces them to lose cards eventually. So they're going to lose the cards anyway, and you don't need the 5/5 body. But the other cards that I'm running helps me control the board better than Mugla does.
Well, that's always important. That's always important.
Yeah, so it depends. If you're going to play Mugla, then there are other changes that you need to make along with it.
All right, all right. So this is our nice little pre-out section that we're doing here. I'm going to make a little statement here. Recently, we've gotten a lot of concerns over the format that we're doing here because we've shown standardized decks and how to play them correctly. And some people had an opinion on this. So I apologize if this was not your cup of tea and it wasn't something you wanted to see. But again, this show is for educational purposes. However, I am actually going to open the doors to DeckTalk. If you're a deck creator and you've got an interesting deck and you want it to be shown off, contact me at TheChiv@outlook.com. All right? I will take a look at your deck. I will put you on, whatever. All you need to do is A, have a webcam. B, be able to play this game. Have Skype. And last but not least, please speak some semblance of English. At least on par with the crappy English that I speak. All right? And even that's not all that required. So, doors are open. If you think you got something, bring it to the show. But, Dlineman, thank you for coming on. It was great to have you. That was just a hilariously fun deck to watch. It's riveting. It's like, can he do it? Can he do it? You're biting your nails because you know what's supposed to happen, but when it all comes together, you know, it's like an A-team synergy there. It was awesome. It was awesome to see.
It's definitely a deck to play.
Oh,
sure.
Yeah. I'm going to be playing around with this because I actually do have Tree of Life.
There you go.
So I'm going to be exploiting this. So, but thank you so much again. Everybody, check this guy out. A lot of fun. Awesome guy. Don't forget to check out Ace Breakers. And also, if you like these videos, please like, subscribe, retweet, tell your grandmother, send up smoke signals, whatever you kids are doing these days. Even Reddit. I'll accept Reddit. That's fine. Anyway, so this is Shiv saying, till next time, good luck, have fun, and have a great 2015.
All right. Peace out, everyone.